Welcome to the 2025 California Demand Flexibility Summit. I think we're already starting off with some flexibility here. We're starting a little bit late. One of our speakers from LBNL, Marianne Piet, unfortunately is ill today, so she's not here with me on stage to help welcome you all here today. I'm Ben Finkelor. I'm the Executive Director at UC Davis, the Energy and Efficiency Institute. Really pleased to be able to welcome you to campus. And before we do get started, as you're settling in, just a couple safety things for the folks that are speaking today. This is a big step, so I'm going to ask you to use the handrail over here to make sure we don't have any incidents. And then same thing for if in the case of an emergency, where we are lucky, there's lots of exits just out this way. And then if there was an incident, we would just want you to find somebody with a yellow staff signal on here. They'll be able to direct you to a grassy area where it'll be safe. Of course, if you have any other questions throughout the day, you can find somebody with one of these yellow staff things, myself included, and hopefully we can answer any questions you might have. So again, welcome. We're really thrilled to have you. Before we do proceed, I want to take a moment to respectfully acknowledge the original inhabitants of the land on which we gather. For thousands of years, this land has been the home of the Patwin people. Today, there are three federally recognized Patwin tribes: the Kachidihil Band of Winton Indians of the Calusa Indian Community, the Kletsadihii Winton Nation, and the Yochidihii Winton Nation. The Patwin people have remained committed to the stewardship of this land over many centuries. It has been cherished and protected as elders have instructed the young through generations, and we are honored and grateful to be here today on their traditional lands. I'd also like to take a moment to express my gratitude for the incredible teams at both the Energy Commission and the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory who partnered with us here at UC Davis to host this event. I'll thank them later today to see, assuming everything goes well, then we'll really thank them. But a lot of work has gone into today, and it's really fantastic, these three organizations coming together to make today possible. I'd also, on behalf of all of those organizations, I'd also like to thank our event sponsors today, without which this wouldn't be possible. So we have a number of folks that you can see logos on the board. We appreciate their contribution to making this event happen as well. And some of them are going to be also lending speakers for us today for our discussions. And lastly, this is all about bringing smart people together. We have over 450 people registered for this event. Some of them are arriving a little bit later, but they should be trickling in here. And when you get smart people in the room together and you spend time talking about really important issues that the state is facing, good things happen. And so that's what's going to happen today. We want to continue this after this event. Right after this event, there's going to be a reception. It's sponsored by Valley Clean Energy. And so thank you to them for hosting the libations and the continued conversations that we should have going forward. All right, with that, I'd like to bring up leadership of the leadership team of California Energy Commission, starting with the Vice Chair Gunda, who I had the pleasure of not only working with when he was a student here at UC Davis and staff here at UC Davis, but then he went on to bigger and better things at the Energy Commission, and I even had the honor of working for him in his office. So with that, Vice Chair Gunda, will you please come up and make some opening remarks? I'll come back to that. So,
about flexibility.
Flexibility. Okay, sorry. I didn't even look at the slide that was next. We're going to be using Slido. Instead of having mics roving through the room, we're going to use the Slido app to take questions throughout the day. So there's no code for you to use yet. You can see these are the codes that are going to be available throughout the day. But I'll flag these ahead of time during the thing. But if you want to open up your phone or your device, just go to the website slido.com, and then you'll be able to put in a code and enter in a question. If you don't want to enter in a question, you can upvote a question that might be of interest. And then in the back, if you don't have a device with you, we have a laptop that you can enter a question if you need to. All right, with that, and now I really want to introduce you, Vice Chair Gunda.
Thank you, Ben. Good morning, everybody. I just want to begin by welcoming all of you and thanking you for being here. I know many of you had to take time out of your important day's work and make time to be here, to be a part of this conversation. So just opening up with a sense of gratitude to both UC Davis, LBNL, and every one of you who's in this room, and who's not in this room, who has supported you to be here, and all the staff that work behind the scenes to make this happen. So a big sense of gratitude. As Ben introduced, I'm Siva Gunda. I'm one of the 5 commission members at the Energy Commission. I'm incredibly grateful to be in this role at this moment to really tackle some of the hardest problems that we are facing to ensure we are together and find common goals and common ground and common solutions to drive innovation for the future. I want to thank some of the key principals, energy principals that are here. We have principals from CAISO, Mark Rothleader. We have Commissioner McAllister, as well as Chair Hochschild from the Energy Commission. We have Commissioner Hauk, and we'll have President Reynolds coming shortly from the PUC. So we have a lot of leadership in this room from the public sector, and really hoping that we'll have some lively but honest and vulnerable conversations to ensure that we move forward with solutions. So I'm hoping that we inspire conversations today. Wanted to kind of just set the stage. That we'll hear from Ching in a few minutes, setting the stage for today. But really, our whole climate agenda is predicated on electrification. A huge part of our work in California, as we move forward, we have agreed, and there is a strong consensus that electrification is one of the cornerstones of that climate pathway towards carbon neutrality by 2045. So with that comes the opportunity and responsibility. The responsibility is, in order to meet our goals, we have to almost build 200 gigawatts of new resources. And that could require anywhere from 2 to 4 million acres of California's land development. And California is about 100 million acres. We're talking about another 2 to 4% of the land being developed to meet that electric load. And the opportunity then is to really think about, how do we shape that demand to make sure the demand is as grid-friendly as possible, and we optimize our ability to look through the variables, whether it's land use, whether it's equity implications, whether it's reliability implications, water implications. How do we optimize the solution in a way that we maximize the benefit to California and reduce the risks and impacts? And that's where demand flexibility comes in. And as we move into these hotter and hotter temperatures, demand flexibility also has a role in terms of having opportunities at extreme weather events. So we're talking about shaping the load to have the best load possible for grid friendliness. We're talking about load shedding, potentially load reduction to support extreme events. So in the middle of all this is demand flexibility. And one of the things that's both satisfying to work with, but also difficult, is this particular area touches so many agencies and so many stakeholders. So we're really hoping that this event kind of brings us together in terms of some common themes, helping us figure out some common node points of matrices. How do we want to think about this, and really set the pathways for making sure we succeed. About 2 years ago, in 2023, in partnership with Commissioner McAllister, we developed this 7,000 megawatt goal that we think is achievable by 2030. And hopefully we'll have meaningful conversations towards that as well today. With all that, I just want to conclude before I invite Chair Hochschild on this. An essential part of the times we're in is really finding unified common ground and common themes to make sure we are collectively solving some big problems. And I cannot be more grateful that our agency is led by somebody that really internalizes that spirit of bringing people together. And he's been asking us to do this event, and he helps do a lot of these events, and Commissioner McAllister did an electrification summit earlier this year. The real kind of confidence in the spirit of people and the power of people and power of the incredible minds we have in this room. So with that, I want to invite Chair Hochschild to just kind of close the opening comments for this morning. Thank you.
Well, good morning. How's everyone doing? All right. You demand flex guys start early. So I just want to say what a pleasure it is to be able to work so closely with Vice Chair Gunda, Commissioner McAllister, Commissioner Hauk, and so many of you. And just a special word about the Vice Chair, who I just want to highlight, given what's happening in our country and some of the message that's being sent to immigrants, talented immigrants coming in, just to highlight that Siva came over to this country from India, came to UC Davis, after doing some other things, and then we were fortunate enough to get him on as staff at the Energy Commission. And when I met him, you were kind of mid-level staff at the Energy Commission, and I was just dazzled by your talent and commitment, and we're fortunate enough to get you appointed commissioner and then vice chair of the Energy Commission by the governor, and the contributions you are making to our state, leading us on SB 100 implementation, on reliability, and now with protecting the state from price volatility in the gasoline markets and so many other issues. You've been nothing less than a superstar, so let's give you a big round of applause. Thank you. So I wanted to just begin with this, which is we're facing some big headwinds in our country right now to a lot of our core priorities around building a clean, healthy, equitable future. We're going to get through this storm, okay? We're going to get through the other side, and I love the Chinese word for crisis, which is Wei Ji. It's just two other words put together. It's danger and opportunity, right? Wei and Ji. And there's always opportunity inside a crisis, and that's true of the current political moment now. It's true of the climate crisis, that together we have a chance to build something beautiful and powerful and enduring. And to recall, we have a legacy of doing that in this state. I've been in the energy business in California for 25 years now. And I actually got in working on solar power. At that time in 2000, solar was the most expensive and smallest niche in the entire power market, okay? And through a series of policies to drive that mainstream, you know, it's now the single biggest investment on the world's electric grid. In 2004, it took a year to build a gigawatt of solar. 2010, it took a month. 2016, it took a week. 2023, it took a day to build a gigawatt of solar. 2024, half a day. And now it's in excess of $500 billion a year being invested in solar. Our siting pipeline in California is 20 gigs in the Energy Commission siting pipeline. And that's 98% solar and storage, okay? We're gonna be voting in a couple weeks on the largest battery storage project in the world. So our state has a legacy of doing this, and we've done that for wind, electric vehicles, energy storage. All the first of those were built here, and the first energy efficiency codes and standards. And so demand flexibility fits right into that. And so the context for me is that going back a few decades, there were really three problems that have kind of presented themselves with the grid. The first was it was dirty. The second is we had some reliability issues, and now it's affordability. And so let's walk through what we have done with those. We've been aggressively cleaning up the grid in California. We're almost 2/3 of our electricity today comes from clean sources. Alternative energy is the wrong word to use to describe renewables in California. Fossil's alternative on the grid right now. Just since Gavin Newsom became governor of California, we've added 27 gigs of new capacity. Half of that, almost 16 gigs, is energy storage. And that's come out in 6 years, and we're getting it done. And of course, as you all know, on August 14th and 15th of 2020, we had an outage. Mark Rothleader was phenomenal through that, as our friends in CAISO and PUC as well. And our mantra is never again. And so we have been addressing that really aggressively through every tool and lever that we have. And in fact, last summer, hottest temperatures in the history of the state, highest load in the history of the state. And we got through that, not only without an outage, without even a flex alert. So we're cleaning up the grid. We are making it more reliable. Now we're in an affordability crisis. And in many ways, what's happening is climate change is making it harder to fight climate change. All of the wildfires have created huge costs, which are now being put on rates. It's presenting a challenge on many things we need to do around electrification. But this issue we're talking about today, to me, it really addresses all three of these. It is going to help us decarbonize, it's going to help make the grid more reliable, and it's going to help make the grid more affordable. And so we are punching below our weight in this topic. That's why we're meeting today. We need to do better. I am very optimistic about what we can create in this space. The tools are there, the technologies have gotten better, we have smart meters, there's all of these things that we can use and leverage to become a much more nimble grid. I just finished reading Ezra Klein's book, Abundance. Raise your hand if you have read that. A couple of you yeah, so good chunk. So I found it to be a really welcome kind of kick in the pants to democratic governance and some very fair critiques. I think he misses some big successes, mostly around deployment of clean energy. But I think the core message is there that we got to do better in making things work. And I think this arena that we're in today around demand flexibility can bear a lot of fruit. And so I want us to get excited about this field, lean into it together. The sort of mantle of leadership on the clean energy future and all these policies has shifted very decisively back to the states and back to California in particular. So we all got to lean in and make this thing work together, and I know we will. I'll just close with a few highlights of some other amazing things that are happening in our state that are not getting attention, but they're historic, okay? We have more EV charge plugs in the state of California than we have gasoline nozzles. 178,000 EV chargers, 120,000. Yeah, there's a round of applause. There you go. We're adding 1,300 EVs a day in the state. 1,300 EVs a day. We have more actually battery capacity on four wheels than we do stationary. We have the first all-electric school bus fleet in the world. The city of Oakland, for a major city, 74 buses, 74 chargers. 100% of the kids going to school on a public bus in Oakland are going electric. We have the first all-electric police fleet in South Pasadena. We took delivery of the first electric tugboat in San Diego. We are paying for, at the Energy Commission, the chargers for the very first all-electric ferries coming to San Francisco Bay, being fabricated right now in Washington State. We electrified Caltrain, last fall from diesel to electric. The housing stock 5 years ago, roughly 1% of new construction being built in California was all electric. Now it's in excess of 80%. And so these are big steps. There's a go. We can give a round of applause for that. But we're doing that together, and the vision is to really make everything that connects to the grid a good citizen of the grid. And I want to thank my good friend and colleague, Commissioner McAllister, who led our efforts around the load flexibility standards that we've adopted. And there's a lot that policy can do, and there's a lot that the innovation community can do, and there's a lot that institutions like UC Davis and the labs can do. We're blessed to have everybody sort of concentrated in this state and to recall that the things we make work spread, okay? People laughed at us when we started doing clean energy policy, and they're not laughing anymore. We adopted 100% clean energy. That's law in 22 states now. 96% of the capacity additions on the grid last year nationally were clean energy because it's working and it's affordable and it's scaled because of policy. So we got to draw on all of the inspiration from those successes that we've had in the past and use that to fuel the progress we're going to make for this next chapter. So happy to be working with all of you. Thank you guys so much.
So we, as I said, we are incredibly blessed to have Chair Hochschild as the lead of our agency, and you know why. That's how he speaks every day to us. Apart from making sure he gives me a pass on wearing a tie or not, he's very particular. Today he's not wearing a tie, so I did not. So that's good. But outside of that, we are blessed at the agencies, not just within the Energy Commission, but with CAISO, with Elliott Mainzer and PUC. We're working as one big family. We might not always agree on all the policy issues, but there is incredible friendship and common purpose amongst all of us. So blessed to have everybody here today. So before I invite Ching, I just want to give a quick thanks to Ben for all the incredible work that he has put in to make this event happen. Also want to thank Sherry, and also want to thank Will from UC Davis. And I want to particularly thank Jane Park, I don't know where she is, from our office for all her work as well. Again, welcome and thank you for being here. And with that, I welcome Ching. Thank you.